Hey everyone, I've been spending time with the 2020 Ford Escape SE Sport Hybrid this week. And it's an exciting car for me. Not only is there a lot going on with this car in the marketplace, technology-wise and everything, kind of Ford, grew up in a Ford family, so I've always been interested in Ford products. I've owned a few, and I'm also a fan of EVs, so I was excited to spend some time with this car, and so far I've been pleasantly surprised. Ford did a really good job at making this car accessible for both someone who just wants to drive a compact crossover that doesn't cost that much money and gets good fuel economy, and also someone who's interested in electric vehicles and kind of a technology person and kind of wants to geek out on the car. Just look at the gauge cluster here. There's a lot going on. It's kind of a complex but yet easy to read screen. You've got your speed up in a big digital display. Once I get around this corner here, the speedo is in a nice digital display. It still kind of has that classic gauge look, even though there are no graduations on it. But it tells you the speed very easy. And then on the right side, instead of a tachometer, what it actually tells you is your power in kilowatts. And I think that's pretty cool. As interesting as it might be to know what speed the engine's running at, RPMs like a typical car, I think it's more useful in this situation to have a power readout, because it shows you how much power the engine's providing and how much power the battery is providing. And also how much power the battery is regenerating. So right now, I'm regenerating electricity, and then now I've got nothing. And then as I step off here, we start with electric as I'm easing on the throttle. Looks like we can go to about 19 kilowatt hours of electricity before, we got 21 and then the engine kicked in. And from there, the vehicle operates as a normal hybrid and tries to always have the internal combustion engine running as efficiently as possible. So right now it's not using any power from the battery. It's simply using internal combustion to provide power to the wheels. And I can see that not only from the gauge here, but also from the power flow meter found in the infotainment display. So bear with me, I'm going to be looking at the road and looking back at the display, but right now we're going 46 miles per hour and using 11 kilowatts and doing it all on the battery. Just going down nice easy speeds, quiet. Really, it's kind of like driving an EV. If you've ever driven a hybrid vehicle, a Prius or previous Escape hybrid, this would be very similar. It'd be very familiar. And then if that battery power runs out, or if I get on the throttle hard here, pops on, says engine on due to drive power, and motor kicks on pretty seamlessly. I was out here filming a point of view test drive at night for Winding Road, which you should go check out the Winding Road magazine YouTube channel and see the only sound, see the sound only video on this car. But I was excited to film it because there's a lot to show just in the driving experience and in the gauge cluster here. One thing I did find interesting as I was driving around today, it's about 28 degrees, and when I came out to the car, there's a lot of ice on the car, so I was running the defroster on high. I was trying to heat up the cabin, so I had the heat going. And when I was driving around the city, just about 30 miles per hour or less, or even up to about 45 miles per hour, driving around on a mixture of the engine and the battery while running the heater, the engine kept getting cold. You can see right there's engine temperature, and it's about a quarter of the way up right now, running on electric only. That gets down pretty quickly, and it's only 28 degrees, so I'd be really interested to drive this car in an area where it's maybe 10 degrees Fahrenheit out and see if the engine actually has trouble staying warm. I'll see if I can replicate that later. Overall, I think there's a lot that Ford did right with this car. I thought it was a shame that they took away the hybrid for the 3rd generation Escape, and I'm really glad that they brought it back here. It's by no means a revolutionary product. It's got competition from Toyota with the RAV4, Honda with the CR-V. You could argue Mitsubishi with their Outlander PHEV, but Ford's also coming out with a plug-in hybrid version of this Escape. It seems like the powertrain will be a little similar to the C-Max hybrid, plug-in hybrid, the C-Max Energy as it was called, but here's hoping it's better, and the form factor will definitely be better, especially if they don't have to take up precious cargo space with the battery pack the way they did with the C-Max and Fusion Energy. The motor doesn't sound good when it's running. It doesn't sound cool by any means. It's a little bit drony, but I've been driving for a few hours throughout the week, and you get used to it, especially if you're not somebody who's really desiring a satisfying engine note. It's fine. It really is. Driving along at 75 miles per hour here, it's mostly just wind noise. And there is a decent amount of wind noise, but it's adequate for this class. Alright, so I'm going to run the heat a little high here, and I'm going to see if I can get the engine to get down into cold. Right now, it's right in the middle on the thermometer there. But we're going to run an electric only for as long as possible, and at about 35 to 40 miles per hour, and see if we can get that engine cold. Doing all electric right now. You can already see the thermometer there dipping down. I'm actually going to turn the air up a little bit. Sorry if it's a little loud. We're at max fan speed now, so you can hear what it sounds like at max fan. This is with the air on half defrost, half feet. I'm actually going to switch into eco mode as well, just to help me use up all the battery I've got. Keep it out of hybrid mode. Yep, look at that. We've dropped significantly on the thermostat there, or thermometer. We've dropped significantly on the thermometer there. I'm going to have to ease on the throttle here. Kind of got an uphill, so we'll see how much battery we've got left. That is one thing that I've not been able to find on the car, and I don't think it shows it, is actually the state of charge of the hybrid battery. I know on the Prius you could see, even though it wasn't much and it fluctuated a lot, you could see how much juice you had in the battery at any given time, and that would kind of tell you how long you could run on battery only before the engine would kick in. Oh, so here we are. I actually saw the little needle there on the thermostat move, the thermometer move, and we are just about to dip into the dark blue cold section. Be able to ease off the power here. Oh no, just barely. We got into the dark blue, but the engine kicked on, so I'm going to actually get off the throttle, coast again, see if we can't keep it off for a little bit longer. Make sure no one's behind me. Oh, back up into the light blue. Yep, there we are, down into the dark blue again. So now what'll happen, if we drive like this a little bit longer, right there, it'll pop up, the engine will come on and say, engine on due to, I think, cabin heating. So it's just kind of interesting. Overall, I like driving the Escape. I do. Let's turn this down. I like driving the Escape. I think it's about time Ford did this hybrid system in this vehicle. I think the market might be interested in it, and I think if you want an Escape and you don't mind having the hybrid and you appreciate getting good fuel economy, maybe if you live somewhere in like California where the gas is a little bit more expensive, I think the hybrid really strikes a good balance between the base 3-cylinder 1.5 liter and the arguably too powerful 2-liter turbo. Alright everyone, thanks for watching. Be sure to check out our full review on the Escape SE Sport Hybrid on dailymotor.com and on our YouTube channel, Daily Motor. Drive on.